Welcome to I Square Maths Academy class on finding the sum and factorization method, the completing the squared method, the general quadratic formula method, and of course the graphical method. So today I want us to look at how to get the sum and products of the roots of a quadratic equation without having to solve the equation completely. Now remember in our last class, we said the general quadratic, the general quadratic equation is given by ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And we said if ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, it therefore means that the value of x will be equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yes, if ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, it means the value of x will be equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And remember, we called this the general quadratic formula. So in this case, we said the value of d, which is the discriminant, is b squared minus 4ac. Yes, I remember when treating the factorization method, we said before you apply or use the factorization method, you must ensure that the discriminant is a perfect square. And we did say that the discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Now, it means our x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant all over 2a. Yes. Now, looking at this value of x, here we have two values because here we have plus and minus. We have plus minus, so it means we'll definitely have two values for x. Now, the first value of x, let's call it x1. x1 will be equal to minus b plus. Now, I'm taking the plus here. Plus the square root of d all over 2a. That's the value of our x1. And now let's see the value of our x2. x2 will be equal to minus b minus. Now I'm picking this minus, minus the square root of d all over 2a. Yes, we have our x1 to be equal to minus b plus the square root of d all over 2a, while x2 is equal to minus b minus the square root of d all over 2a. Now let's look at the sum of roots. The sum of roots. Now the sum of roots actually means adding x1 and x2. That is adding the two values of x. So here, our x1 plus x2 will be equal to our x1 is minus b plus the square root of d all over 2a. Now, plus x2. Our x2 is minus b minus the square root of d all over 2a. Now, let's look at the LCM of these two, 2a and 2a. The LCM is 2a. Now, 2a into 2a is 1. And 1 times this becomes 1 in brackets minus b plus the square root of d. Then here we have plus 2a into 2a is 1. 1 times minus b minus the square root of d will be 1 in brackets minus b minus the square root of d. Now, it means that x1 plus x2 will be equal to, if you multiply the whole of this by 1, you have minus b plus the square root of d 1 times minus b, here we have minus b minus the square root of d all over 2a. Yes. So our x1 plus x2 plus x2 will be equal to d minus d will go. Yes, so we have minus b minus b. So minus b is minus 2b. All over, here we have 2a. So all over 2a. Now looking at this 2 will go with this 2. So we'll be left it minus b all over a. So it therefore means that x1 plus x2 is equal to minus b all over a. So now let's take note of this. Yes, let's take note of this. This is the sum of roots. Yes, this is the sum of roots. So it means if we have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, the sum of the two values of x or the sum of the two values of y, as the case may be, must be equal to minus b all over a. Now let's look at the product of roots. Products of roots. Okay, just like here we say sum of roots. Sum of roots means adding the two values of x. Products of roots means multiplying the two values of x. So now it means here we have x1 times x2. Now the value of our x1 is minus b plus the square root of d all over 2a. Then here we have times the value of our x2. Our x2 is minus b minus the square root of d all over 2a. Now let's see what this will give us. x1, x2 will be equal to minus b times minus b. We all know that minus times minus is plus. So minus b times minus b becomes b squared. Minus b times minus the square root of d. It becomes plus, because minus times minus is plus. It becomes b root b. Now coming to this, d times minus the square root of d times minus b is minus b root d. Now square root of d times minus the square root of d, it gives us minus d. Because when you have the square root of d all squared, the square will cancel the square root and you'll be left with d. So now the whole of this divide by, we have 2a times 2a. That will give us 4a squared. So it therefore means that x1, x2, which is the same x1 times x2, will be equal to, this will go with this. I will be left with b squared minus d all over 4a squared. Yes, but let's recall that our d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Yes, d is the discriminant. And here from here we said d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So it therefore means that the value of our x1, x2 will be equal to b squared minus the value of d. And d is b squared minus 4ac, everything here all over 4a squared. So it means our x1, x2 will be equal to b squared. Opening this bracket, we have minus. Here, b squared. Now, minus is plus. So here we have plus 4ac all over 4a squared. Now, this b squared will go with this b squared. Yes, because b squared minus b squared is equal to 0. So it means here, our x1, x2 will be equal to 4ac all over 4a squared. Now this 4 will go with this 4, and this A will cancel one of this A. You'll be left with A here. So here we have C all over A. So therefore, x1, x2, which is the product of the two values of x, or the product of roots of a quadratic equation, is equal to C all over A. Now, this is the product of roots. Yes, this is the product of roots. So now we have seen the sum of roots, yes, and the product of roots. So the sum of roots x1 plus x2 is equal to minus b all over a, and the product x1 x2 is equal to c all over a. So we are going to be using this to solve some quadratic function. So please watch out for the next class. Thank you so much.